Donna Zolch of Rhinebeck weighed in as well, and this was what she said. It's curious to me how you describe Miss Cohen-Tyner with a negative connotation clearly implied as being bellicose. Perhaps if she behaved as a proper wife and appropriately docile to her role as such, she would not receive such hostile press from you. This, of course, would prohibit her from standing up and speaking out against the horrifically overzealous, slanderous, and hostile attacks against her husband, who, as far as I can tell, is only guilty of fighting for those who are in dire need of keeping a seriously committed county legislature. Later, one that'll stand up to the good old boys. Wake up! This is not 1950s. The women are strong and have literally died to have their voices heard and should be applauded when they take a powerful stand against systems that are dysfunctional and undemocratic. I congratulate Ms. Cohen-Tyner for standing up and not taking a step backwards in time despite a national and local political climate that seems to be pushing for such aggression and chastising women who dare to speak up. I love that. I think it's important to point out, too, since when is it appropriate to attack an elected official's wife? I thought the press was held to a certain standard, that they didn't do things like that. It's a really low blow, and it's stunning. His newspaper is blatantly biased. It's definitely an arm of the Republicans. And his hypocrisy is pretty astounding considering that Joel's opponent was also at that picnic. Of course, no mention of that. But I guess in the age of Breitbart and Fox, nothing is sacred.
So, Laila, what do you think about the Monday meeting about the buses in Poughkeepsie?
Wow. I think I agree with Gus that that it should have happened years ago. People should have had a chance to weigh in before the deal was signed. According to you, there was a meeting on it, but public comment was not allowed. Correct?
They wouldn't allow public comment on the county takeover, only on the new routes.
Right. So yeah, I don't know what to say. Also, I thought it was kind of, you could tell that Molinaro definitely has a chip on his shoulder and is out for you, because at the first opportunity that he had, it was...
What about when he said, "Excuse me, Mrs.
Right, that's
Tyner"?
what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. When, basically, what was the other, the Common Council's members?
Chris Petsis.
Chris Petsis. Wanted to speak out and wanted to confront Molinaro about what was going on and how his constituents were being left behind, and Molinaro would not bring him the microphone, so he raised his voice, trying to be heard. And Molinaro, on the microphone is, "How dare you yell at me? How dare you yell at me?" And I simply... maybe I could have thought it out a little better, but I simply tried to remind him. I didn't say it loud. I just said, he doesn't have a microphone. I mean, you're accusing him of yelling. He's yelling.
At which point Marcus said, "Excuse me, Mrs. Tyner."
That's correct. I mean, which was obviously that was because he was looking for an opportunity to attack you, and I presented, an in, and he took it. And to his credit, he did later apologize for doing that. But I thought it was kind of funny because he sent that email apologizing, and then the next day the letter came out about how you should apologize if you do something wrong. I mean, it was clear to me that that's the reason why he apologized, so he didn't look like a jerk. Because he got carried away with his emotions as well. So anyway.